six or seven showings in the first 3 days on the market.
This is our pre-show banter, everybody. As we're getting ready to record the show.
They came strong, very clean, and made sure that we didn't get into a multiple bid. They locked it up before we had a chance to look at 2 other offers that were coming in. And we had somebody just call us today saying, hey, if that offer doesn't work through, we've got somebody who wants to make an offer. So, I mean, it's there. The strong buyer pool, for the agents that are working hard and continuing, it's almost like, the real people are coming out of the woodworks now, and this is busy season, but you can focus now on real qualified buyers versus before where you had some, not to anybody's disgrace, but like people wasting agents' time because they didn't know what they wanted and they weren't sure. But now everyone's like, okay, we know what we want. Let's do this, and we can see.
I agree with you
in our sales.
Very motivated buyers, no question. Yep.
Lee just said send the link.
Greg, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, he worked hard.
So I've got you my 2019 taxes. I just submitted to my CPA, so I'll get them over to you soon, so you can give me some final,
Greg,
some final numbers.
I need the P&L. I need it sooner than you might.
It's already done. Chill out. I'm ahead of it for you.
There's many reasons.
Listen, I told Steve in my email when I submitted my taxes, I said,
I know he told me
you're going to ask about Bob's P&L. Just you need to get mine through first because I got a closing coming up, so I need to.
All right, here comes the judge, Lee Harris, ladies and gentlemen, is about to be in the house. You got it, girl.
I'm here. This is all you're all getting tonight.
Oh, come on, we got to see your face.
Oh, I didn't do that. Oh,
no.
Sorry. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
What did I do? Oh.
There you go. Okay.
All right.
That's better. Okay, it's better than nothing. We'll take what we can.
I haven't put my makeup on or
that's
done my
perfect.
hair
You're fine. You're fine. That's all right. We're all busy and going nuts.
I haven't either.
It shows.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Hey, Brad.
Yes.
Can you come and re-inspect my house?
Sure, I'd be happy to. What am I looking for?
Well, we're looking for the fact that my house cleaner hasn't been on the job for 2 months, and apparently you leave places nicer than when they came in.
We do. We've that's one of the side effects of how we're doing our inspections these days.
Hey, a little side thing before we get going here. I want you to see my mouth for a second. Tell me if you notice anything different. You probably won't.
Hey, I do.
What is it?
What do you see, Greg?
His chipped tooth is fixed.
You got it.
I didn't know
you told him about Bob? You told him about hydrox?
Yeah. So let me tell him. So I had a chip here and a chip on this side, and so that my dentist had called to postpone the teeth cleaning. So I called back to confirm a new date. I said, hey, by the way, I need these teeth fixed sooner than later. Because I just realized how bad it was, and I have a purpose for needing them fixed. And he said, well, I got an opening tomorrow. Just so happens. So that was Monday. Yesterday I go in. An hour later, he's got 2 of them done. And then I was under this tension problem. The 2 teeth here.
You have a date.
With Destiny. With Destiny. You
Yeah.
could say that. Yeah. All right. We all set? We all ready?
Oh, no, wait a minute. You didn't tell them about the peroxide.
Oh, yeah. So I go there. They tell me, okay, you got to wash your hands. And then they hand me a cup. I go, is this I'm thinking it's to pee in or something, right? I'm thinking it's going to test.
At a dentist.
What? Dentist?
I know. I'd leave
if that was the dentist.
I was thinking, what the hell? I said, so what's in the cup? They go, it's water and hydrogen peroxide for you to squeeze down in your mouth. I thought for a second Randy had called and set them up to this. That was like. By the way, hey Kev, Kelly, just fabulous. I mean, you're our buddy, and we love you, but just know she's just a sweet lady, and we have a lot of fun with her as well. Yeah. Yep.
Good,
So
good.
just so you know, I just wanted you to know if you're not there, you're in good hands. But we always love you being here, so that's a good thing. All right,
I will not comment on that, but we'll leave that.
Yeah. Let's not take a vote.
All right, are we all set? We all ready, you guys? All right, let me roll it. Stand by, everybody. Here we go. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show, with you from our homes. Once again, during COVID-19, we're practicing safe social distancing, and that includes all of our team members. And here they are in no particular order. Let us start with Chuck Crosby, who returns after a week off. The Crosby Law Offices, 499-6360. Kevin Dissler, who is back also. The whole team is here in person. Pitt and Frank Attorneys, 895-9900. Lee Harris, Legal Counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow, 649-7964. And I got to tell you, I love Lee's laugh. So you'll hear her laugh, hopefully, multiple times. You'll agree. It's just a great way to wake up in the morning on a Sunday morning. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service at 357-0813. And I should point out also, here is Randy Rocky, Swan Financial, 645-0736. He is here. And then my son, Greg, who I love and adore, and I'm very proud of him. He's a part of our team, does our marketing and 3D and photography and great stuff. And, of course, you can reach me anytime, 376-5483, because we are desperately looking for homes. We keep selling. I should tell you, this last weekend after the show, we had 4 homes go under contract in one day. One of them happens to be one belonging to somebody who is on this show. Greg, you there?
Oh, me?
Yeah, this is radio. So
you talking about me?
Talk. Yeah. Congrats. In how many days did you sell the house?
We were on the market for 3 days before we got a very strong, very clean offer, and they wanted to lock it down before we got into multiple bids, which we had 2 more coming.
Yep.
And the market is it's moving and grooving, and
So
we're a testament to our faith in it.
So understand, folks, if you're thinking about buying or selling, here's what's going on. There is a lot of pent-up demand. Buyers actively should be working with an agent. They should also be with a mortgage company to get pre-approved. We suggest Randy Rocky over at Swan Financial because we know he does the job. And then for sellers, there are going to be a lot of homes coming on the market during the rest of May and into June. A lot of competition. We don't know how long the buyer pent-up activity is going to last, but now is the time to reach out to an agent you trust to at least talk. Now, you can call me. We can do a Zoom meeting if you don't want to meet in person. We follow safe CDC protocols if we meet, staying 6 feet or more apart. But if you don't want to even do that, we do Zoom meetings, and when we communicate via Zoom, and we get things ready to roll because it is coming very quickly.
And if I may, it's even more important now to have an agent that you trust and people that you work with in your inner circle. I'll say this offer that came in was the first offer on our particular house. And, sometimes I say the first offer is the best offer. And, we're agents. We do this 365. We've been in it for 7 years. Personally, since I moved back from New York, obviously Bob's been, our experience speaks for it. But, this was an agent that we knew very well. They worked with lenders that we have worked with very many times. And they also use an inspection company that happens to be on this call as well.
Oh, they're using Home Team Inspection. And we should point out
they were just out. And I was just telling Brad, my house was literally left cleaner than when we left it. So I thanked him personally at the beginning.
But I will tell you that under no circumstances will Brad softball or his people softball the inspection.
No, this was not planned.
I get that.
Was,
just to let you know.
But what I'm saying is, to get to the point of the need to have these relationships and why we always preach the relationships, because this is an experience that even as us as agents, when we saw an offer come in, we knew it was a good offer, and we knew there wasn't, even if we were going to get competing offers, that we were in a place where, hey, this is they want to lock it down. They're serious. They're using people that we trust and know. So, that just goes to show the validity of the relationship and communication.
One step further, when we see who the closing attorney is, if it's one of our people that we work with, for example, Kevin or Chuck or Lee, there's a bit more confidence in knowing that it's going to close. We've had some terrible disasters in past years, even without COVID-19, where a closing attorney may do this part-time, has no clue what the status or how things that should be proceeding, and it slows or stops the procedure. So that is a really important part to listen to the people that we talk to and get their names and numbers if buying or selling. All right, Randy Rocky, explain what is going on, because you are there this morning and you're working through till some nights 11 and 12. You're busier than you have been ever before?
Yes.
Over at Swan?
And,
what's going on?
And a lot of purchases. And actually, from this time last year, across the country, purchase applications are down only 10%. And what has happened is a lot of originators have decided to kind of put their head in the sand. They really have, and a lot of them do not have the programs that we have, and it's created a lot of opportunity with your team and other realtors that are coming and starting to do business with me.
Are you seeing more refis or now purchase of homes?
Purchases now are across the nation are about 35% of the business, and that's what I'm more about 40% of my business right now is purchase business.
And we should say interest rates, and I know you can't quote because they change from day to day, month to month, week to week, second to second, but they're hovering around 3s for good credit, right?
Yes, okay. That is correct.
All right, so we move from the mortgage side to the next step in the process of buying a home, and that's going to be once you find your house, you go to get it inspected. We hope you do. Takes us to Brad Lawler, Home Team Inspection. We can track by the business that the people on this show do, how the market is responding as we start seeing light at the end of the tunnel for COVID-19. So, Brad, how's this past week been for you?
Well, this past week, actually, we were up 25% week over week, and we've had to add more inspection slots. We've expanded the number that are available, and my new apprentice, the Navy vet, has now started with us in earnest, just trying to keep up with demand. So, yeah, it was a big leap up, and we're still having to practice some of the distancing pieces there. We're probably looking at 2 weeks more until we're doing in-person type of walkthroughs again. So yeah, it was a tremendous jump forward this week.
So I would tell you, because I'm constantly on the phone talking to potential sellers to try to get homes to sell to our buyers, and we've got 100,000 buyers actively looking in our systems. I kid you not. I'm more than happy to show you this, folks, in person or via Zoom. But so I'm constantly talking to these sellers, and a lot of them are saying, well, I'm waiting for us to clear with COVID-19. And I will tell you, that's maybe not the best strategy to start working on selling your house once COVID-19 is clear, because there is a pent-up demand, as I mentioned before. So now is actually the time that you want to jump on board. And you're hearing a lot of the positive feedback that this is based on, that do not wait as a buyer or a seller, start working now with an agent. So let's go around the horn in terms of the how closing attorneys are doing it, because let's face it, once Brad is done with inspections, it moves on back to the mortgage company, and then the mortgage company then gets ready to close it with the closing attorneys, and we've got the 3 best here in the city. Let's start with Chuck Crosby. So Chuck, your day-to-day, are you seeing up or are they stagnant at this point?
Well, I wouldn't say stagnant. They're certainly up. Usually I have a number by which the middle of the month, if I hit that, I know what the rest of the month is going to look like, and we doubled it. So this month has been really, really pretty good.
All right, let me go to Lee Harris. Any problems that you're seeing? And again, Chuck with Crosby Law Offices, Lee is with Limestone Title. Any problems that you're facing? Anything new that's come down the pike that we should be knowing about?
No, we haven't had any problems. I mean, really, once we got everything in place, about 8 weeks ago, as far as our barriers, and we got the masks and the gloves and the tent outside, which is kind of like a party tent. It looks like one you see at a wedding, so It's kind of fun. So we, once we got everything in place, it's really been running very, very smoothly.
So let me go to Kevin Distler, Pitt and Frank attorney. So, Kev, we were seeing this new layer coming from lenders all across the country, for verification of employment the day of the closing. Has that held you or any other closing attorneys up in slowing down the actual closing process?
No, occasionally, every now and then, but to kind of reinforce what you're saying right now, if you're a buyer to get out there, I was looking at a text from another lender, but they usually have 60 in their portfolio. With all the refis coming through, they have 450. So the underwriters are starting to get backed up a little bit. So, you're starting to see a few kinks in the system in the early part. So if you're out there looking for a house, it's a really great time to be there, because the system is going to slow down because our capacity is somewhat limited.
Which brings us to this topic that I wanted to discuss today. For more than 2 months now, most of us have been following strict stay-at-home orders from our state and local governments. It's a whole new way of life that's put our daily lives on pause. But on the other hand, many of us have also found a sense of comfort by slowing down and spending time at home, highlighting the feeling of security that comes with having much-needed safe places for our families to live. And the latest results of a housing vacancy survey provided by the U.S. Census Bureau shows how Americans place immense value in home ownership, and it's continuing to grow in the U.S. The results indicate that home ownership rate increased to 65.3% for the first quarter of 2020. That's a number that has been rising since 2016 and is the highest we've seen in 8 years. This in light of the stay-in-place, shelter-at-home, COVID-19 CDC guidelines. It goes to show to anyone who's listening how important it is to consider buying a home if you're renting, and then really improving or loving your home when you're home at it. It just goes without saying. When we come back, we're going to take a break for just a moment. When we come back, we'll tell you about how homeowners are overcoming the COVID-19 virus, what a lot of people are looking forward to, and I will tell you, I am as well, getting out and enjoying life once again. Here, there goes my phone. See, even in this morning, the phone's ringing. Here in the studio, or at home, and via our Zoom meeting, which, by the way, I should tell you, I'm remiss if I don't tell you, if you want to see a copy of this video, which we are recording as we're doing the show, go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com. It's a redirect that goes directly to our YouTube channel where this is being posted. At their homes, Randy Rocky, Swan Financial, 645-0736. Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Lee Harris, Legal Counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow, 649-7964. Kevin Dissler, Pitt and Frank Attorneys at 895-9900. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Services, they're 357-0813. My son, Greg, who does our marketing and our photography, very proud of him, is with us. And you can reach me, Bob Sokoler, anytime at 376-5483. We are looking for homes to list and sell. You're listening to the Louisville Real Estate Show on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler here with you, along with our great folks who join us every week at this time. Here in the studio, we start with my son, Greg, who does our marketing, 3D. We're doing this, by the way, for
and your
video.
P&L.
And my P&L, he does. And we are doing this on our from Zoom at each of our homes, and we're recording this for replay anytime you want to hear it or see it on YouTube. And you can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com to see the video. We do a little pre-show banter and then a little after the show celebration. So that's the place to go, LouisvilleAnswers.com. Also here in the studio, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service at 357-0813. Kevin Dissler, Pitt and Frank Attorneys. They do great closings at 895-9900. So does Lee Harris, Legal Counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow at 649-7964. And without a doubt, right there among the top, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. And even as we're recording this show, Randy Rocky, Swan Financial, coming to us from his office because that's how busy they are right now with refis, but a lot of new home purchases, right, Mr. Rocky?
Yes, sir.
So any problems that you're seeing coming down the pike, just out of curiosity, from the mortgage lenders? Because as you go, so will all of us, whether it's buyers, sellers, closers, inspectors. Any problems you're forecasting or seeing?
Yes, there are a lot of problems, and it's, you have to navigate the waters right now. Forbearances are up. Some lenders are becoming very conservative on, but there are also a lot of people that businesses open, and they're doing a lot of closings, and we're very lucky to be a broker, and we get to navigate those waters with a lot of different lenders and underwriters. So it's been very good for us.
Let's talk about forbearance. So anybody who's having problems making mortgage payments, many of the lenders, can you say all of them, but many of the lenders are allowing you to not make a mortgage payment. Can you give us more information about where that stands?
That is correct. So a lot of times the forbearance, they go 3 or 4 months, and then you have to make that completely up sometimes after 4 months or at the end of the loan. But it puts you in a terrible position to purchase another home, and it does affect your credit. So again, if people need it, they absolutely could use.
You're breaking up on us terribly.
Don't, I cannot enough to please keep making your payments. Keep making your payments on all mortgages and credit cards.
Yeah, but the point is, it's available as forbearance if you want to. And what we're hearing is some of the mortgage companies, if you contact them, and that really is the first thing you need to do, is not just stop paying your mortgage. You need to reach out to your mortgage lender and explain the situation you're in. Am I correct about that?
That is correct.
Yeah. So, and then ultimately, because the last thing we want to see is what happened in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I know Chuck, Lee, and Kevin, we were all in it where there were foreclosures and short sales. Do we think that the mortgage lenders have learned the lesson? I've heard a lot of good feedback that this will not happen again, the number of short sales and foreclosures. Anyone prepared to talk about that?
Well, it goes to the length. I mean, you can't have people not paying mortgage payments. You can get 2, 3, perhaps 4, but at some point in time, the economy's got to kick back in gear, so it allows people to make payments. Lenders and investors can't indefinitely go without payments on those bonds.
No, and I get that, but I think, did we not see the lenders towards the end of this short sale foreclosure cycle in 2010, 11, and 12, towards the end there, they realized it was smarter to let the homeowners stay in the home, maintain it, pay for power and water, and at least keep it from falling into disrepair, because the alternative was the bank had to take it over. It had to then be sold as a foreclosure, and the costs were very high. Anybody want to comment on that? No?
I mean,
I don't think we're there yet.
No, we're not.
I think they're two completely different things. You know, I think you've got where the problem was last time was caused by a completely different issue, which had a little bit different effect than what we have now, where what Kevin is saying, where people physically you can only hold off so long for people not paying before there are real foreclosures, not necessarily. And when I say real, not that the other ones weren't real, but you have where people just aren't paying because they don't have their jobs, and it's caused by a thing that could look similar to 2008, but it's not caused by irregulation or issues with regulating the different loans and balloons.
No, don't misinterpret what I'm saying. What I'm getting at here is that I think banks realize that even with a problem like we're being faced with, that it would be better to let people stay in their home and not foreclose on it, because it would create a spiraling down of home prices, and then for banks it would be added cost to maintain those homes. Anybody want to? Yeah.
But just one comment, because I go with Greg. The last problem, you had too much real estate with inflated values. As we just talked about, there's huge demand on the buyer side this time. So the banks selling into a vacuum last time. Now the banks, let's face it, they're trying to make a profit.
Absolutely.
Are going to probably be selling into a fairly nice market right now.
It would
Not to
look better
mention-
to do it. And I think the real issue, and we don't really focus on it much because we're not in the rental side of things. I don't know if anybody here is. That's where the real issue, I believe, is when you're owning a rental right now.
You're hurting.
Those people aren't paying rent, and you've got a majority of your inventory,
that you can't make payments on. You're in trouble.
The banks. That's where the foreclosure market.
And then you've got a bit of a timing issue with that as well. I was talking to the sheriff the other day, and they were saying that there's roughly 92 setouts sitting over at the courthouse waiting to go to the sheriff. And the sheriff already has a few setouts that they, had undone when they stopped things. So just from a timeline perspective, if those 92 setouts are sent over to the sheriff around about the beginning of June, which is when they expect, they're not going to be able to get those setouts done until the end of June at the very earliest.
Now you're talking, when you say setout, you're talking about
that's furniture on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That's furniture on the sidewalk.
You don't think that's going to be extended past June, where it won't be allowed?
No. The scuttlebutt at the courthouse and amongst the sheriffs are that things are going to kick back in around about June 1st. So, I've got a few clients whose tenants, we had judgments ready to evict them prior to all of this. And the tenants have just been sitting there snubbing their nose. What they don't realize is if we're at the beginning of that 92, they're going to be out before they know it. And if they're at the end, they get a couple extra weeks.
And people are thinking like Bob, right? Like, well, aren't they going to make an exception because of this? And we know from historical presence, it's
the problem is the exception. I'm never going to give the benefit of the morality doubt to someone who profits off of a particular scenario like the banks did from 2008 forward. But in this particular case, there are going to be a variety of managing these kind of cases. Putting in a new eviction, I think that's going to get rolled into July at the earliest. And then my bet is they're going to give them a particular period of time to catch up back payments for these 2 months. So
I'm just hoping that they extend it. And I realize that the landlords are hurting, but I'm hoping that the landlords' mortgage companies that the landlords are paying money to also see that putting people on the street is not the way to do it.
I'm not going to give them that benefit of the doubt at all.
You don't think that? Okay, well, listen.
No, not at all. It's not with my clients. Their banks are, demanding the money, and from the same coin, where if someone goes and takes a forbearance, they're not going to get a new house. Well, that may or may not happen if you need to do it. But we're talking about people who have several rental properties who do buy and sell on a regular basis. So if they go and put a rental mortgage in forbearance, they're screwed.
Hey, just out of curiosity, Brad, I don't know if you or Home Team or any other inspectors were doing this in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12. When did you or anybody go into a home that had been foreclosed on or short sale, and what was the state of the home in terms of lack of maintenance on the house?
Yeah, so we are still doing some foreclosures. We've got a lot of experience with that over the years, but typically what we see on a foreclosure is that the maintenance just hasn't been done at all. A lot of vindictiveness is often taken out on the house.
Yeah. Redecorating with sledgehammers.
Yeah, we've seen trash houses. We have seen cabinets, all of the fixtures that have been removed, and essentially the house is gutted before the bank steps in to kind of secure everything. So yeah, we've seen a lot of stripped homes. There's a rare exception that you go into something that's been foreclosed that is in good shape, but typically it's not.
Does everybody on this broadcast, including Randy, do we all agree that there are much fewer foreclosures that are being looked at right now? And at least right now,
their stats are very healthy right now. There are not very many foreclosures at all.
Because we're constantly getting calls from investors who want to look for foreclosures, and my typically I'll tell them, listen, that's great, but unfortunately, they're not that many, and that's good news. for people who are hopefully still able to afford or live or maintain the home. I think that's the big thing we got to look at. From the standpoint of real estate, we're here to talk about the positives in what's going on day to day, week to week in our industry. But we have to pause for a moment and understand that there are a lot of people who are hurting right now financially, it's not about talking about buying a home. We're talking about just living in an apartment or a house that they're renting, and they don't have anywhere to go and they don't know what to do. So I think one of the things that we need to be doing as human beings is to try to help them. And I know just this past week there were a variety of events on TV helping to raise money. And I think all of us, if there's one way we can help, is to help support, promote, and help those who are in need. Because Louisville's one of the best cities in the country, if not the world, and we need to show our help for those who are in need. How we do that, I don't know. I don't have that ability, but I'm just putting it out there that as you're going to church on this this Sunday morning, think about those who are less fortunate. And now that you can go back to church, or if you're listening from your house, if there's something you guys, ladies,
go buy local, order local, get off Amazon, stop shipping from Amazon. If you can go buy, order local, you can do online store pickup. There's a lot of new places that are doing it. I make sure I go to Please and Thank You and Heine Brothers Coffee whenever I get a chance to order online. If I'm out doing showings, I make sure every day, it's my due diligence, I will go spend, and I'll get an extra shot, and I'll spend $6 on my coffee, even though I can make it at home for 20 cents. But we're in the position to do it. We are the lucky ones. We're still able to work. So it's on us, the people that are able to do it, to help support these local businesses.
Let's not forget restaurants, because the restaurants are hurting so bad. The waiters and waitresses.
Well, and especially in Kentucky, Kentucky is the largest percentage of unemployment in the country. We're at 30% unemployment in the state. So Greg makes a great point. We really need to support our local people.
We're out of time, guys. We need to support our local people, and we need to say goodbye because we're out of time. Hopefully everyone got something out of this show. We went from the very positives to helping others who are in need. Our thanks go out to Randy Rocky at Swan Financial, 645-0736. Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices, 499-6360. Lee Harris, Legal Counsel, 649-7964. Kevin Dissler, Pitt and Frank Attorneys, 895-9900. Brad Lawler, Home Team Inspection Service, 357-0813. And my son, Greg, who does our marketing. And I'm proud of you, buddy. Again, we're desperately looking for homes to sell so we can keep the ball rolling. If you are thinking about selling now, not next week, well, you could next week, but now, pick up the phone today sometime. I'm working on Sunday. 376-5483 is my number. We also have 20 agents ready to help you to get out there and buy a home. I hope you have a great week, everybody. See you next Sunday right here on News Radio 840 WHAS. Okay, so that was good. That was almost exactly on time as the time goes, which is rarity for us. Normally I have to cut here, cut there, and then I have to accordion it. Anybody got anything else, Chuck? Anything else? Look like your Chuck is getting.
I've seen some cake.
Is it cake or is it pizza?
Cake. No, we went to Barvetti for dinner tonight and picked up their Barvetti, the best Italianish place in town. It's over on 4th Street in that ugly building. What is it? Teal colored.
Cake. Let's see the dessert corn.
Well, this is John Fishbach.
Yeah, of course.
One of the owners over there at Remax. His wife Candy made me a chocolate cake. It's good.
Chuck is just simply saying to us, "Let them eat cake."
Let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake.
He's not offering a chair.
For anybody who's
you want some? Yeah.
Anybody who's open my app. Anybody who's still watching this video. Anybody see anything? I've got a couple of great TV shows to talk about.
Which ones?
Okay, so has anybody watched Upload on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
No?
Yep.
Okay,
No.
great.
No, I have not.
Does anybody have Amazon Prime?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do.
Okay, Up.
Does anyone have time to watch Amazon Prime?
Well,
I'm stuck on BritBox.
are you working this afternoon? Anyway, Amazon Prime. I'm just simply saying this show. It's all about death, but in a whole other way of looking at things. Upload is the name, and then the other one you have to watch. I don't know if I told you.
Dark comedy.
It is, but it's a great, funny.
Sounds like a family gathering with my mom's side of the family.
It's all about. It's based in the future, and then supercomputers, and right before you die, your spirit, your consciousness,
you can be uploaded by them.
To a resort.
I won't spoil it.
I get it.
That's the dark humor in it.
But it's so funny.
How you get uploaded is
that's
very
funny.
humorous.
All right. So the other thing, if you've got Netflix, be sure to watch Into the Night. Into the Night. And here's the premise on Into the Night. In the first 10 minutes, you're in I think it's a London airport. A plane is starting to board. A guy with a gun who knows a lot more than anybody else, commandeers the plane with a handful of people. The pilot wasn't even on board. The co-pilot and a passenger have to help the plane take off. And the reason is because on the other side of the world, people are dying because the sun reversed polarity overnight, seemingly. And now, as sunrise comes up, it's microwaving everybody to death, no matter whether you're in the basement, below, wherever. And so this plane and these people are basically among the last survivors on Earth. And the only way they can survive is by going west, continuing to go west to keep from being in the sunrise as the sun and the Earth make their circle.
Doesn't the sun microwave
Isn't
everything?
that produced
Don't
by
they have a
Horace
west to go
Greeley?
to?
What? No, you keep going. Was it, Chuck?
Isn't it produced by Horace Greeley?
I don't know. No,
Go west, young man.
Yeah, now there isn't. There's they have to adjust. Yeah, okay, got it now. They have to adjust where they're flying because they can't fly too much towards around the equator because it takes longer to get around the Earth than it does towards the northern poles. There's a shorter circumference.
Yeah, but my point is, like, if the sun, it takes 24 hours for the Earth, like it's already it takes 24 hours for the sun to nuke the whole Earth.
Right, but
where do you have to fly
they're
to?
Staying,
even if you're yeah, but where do you go refuel? The sun should have vaporized and nuked all of the fuel because
they haven't.
It can microwave a person.
The sun does have an impact on some of the fuel. You're right. But you got to watch this show because it's
suspend disbelief, Greg.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Same with upload. I mean, I guess I know. I'm being overly critical. Some of these shows though nowadays.
You can't watch Star Wars.
So Greg, are you the one that complained as Frodo is lifted up by the great eagle that's just unbelievable?
No. It's got to happen in the realm of like okay, if you want to start like a sci-fi thriller or like something in space where like there is endless possibility, but if you're like, all right, I'm already here on Earth, I'm gonna spend the realm of what's possible here on Earth. Like Star Wars, very cool, it's futuristic, you believe that there's lightsabers. But if you're gonna tell me the sun, like a lightsaber burns through stuff, but if you're gonna tell me the sun burns people but doesn't burn a fuel source and these people just happen to fly on a plane
microwave.
and find fuel, if it jumps the shark episode 1, I can't watch. Like it's not,
It's microwaves. You hear me? It's microwaves. It's not going to affect.
Microwave is energy. It's heat. It's destroying matter. It should destroy.
Jump the shark episode 1.
Yeah, no, yeah. But you are onto a trend there, so that's possible. Yeah. By the way, does anybody know where did Jump the Shark come from? Does anybody know?
Happy Days.
Come on. Hey.
There you go.
I know that.
Better trivia, Bob.
Yeah.
Where did the Clampetts come from in the Beverly Hillbillies?
What city or?
What city? Where was he shooting at some food?
Were they in Virginia?
No.
I think they were in Kentucky.
They were in Kentucky.
The hills of Kentucky?
Tussle. No, Bug Tussle.
Bug Tussle.
It's literally a stone's throw from the Tennessee border. I've been there before.
Is that the meets and bounds description? There?
Yeah.
Is that what they just?
Yeah, you take one of those little dung beetles that they named the place after, and you can hurl it. But you literally, to get to the church and the cemetery, the road goes through a creek. So if it rained, you're driving through water.
Interesting.
It's a tiny place.
Bud Tussle.
Yeah,
Bud
Tussle.
but they had a lot of oil apparently.
They did.
Oh.
Crude.
Yeah. Oil
Like
that
gold.
is.
Texas tea.
Texas tea, yeah.
Yeah.
Your first
But
thing
named after dung beetles.
old Jed's a millionaire.
But who? Well, at least they had mineral rights.
Yeah, thank goodness. How's that cake, Chuck?
That's excellent. Candy makes one of the best chocolate cakes.
That's great.
Yeah, it looks delicious.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
It's very
Going
good.
for
I
the
need
second
chocolate. I need
piece
chocolate
there.
now.
We all,
That's great.
I think we all need
some dessert.
The icing, she makes it with some coffee
this icing?
and some chocolate.
Oh,
and,
stop it!
It's
Stop.
like, you like
Yeah.
Jamocha shakes?
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, where is this? I need to get it to. Where is
And
this?
she does it from scratch. I mean, we're
Okay. No.
talking
Yeah. No.
buttermilk on
Where do I get it? Where do I get it?
Now he's just showing off.
Well,
Now he's bragging.
there's half of one right there.
No.
If you
No.
want to
No.
come on over, I'll be up for another hour or so.
Okay, let's all go. Come on. He invited us. Now we can all go.
We'll socially distance on the back porch.
Mm-hmm. What pairs nicely with that? What's a good pairing with that chocolate cake?
The milk that comes from my cow's udder.
Nice. Just get the cows out back too.
No, I pick up my. Oh shoot! I forgot to pick up my milk today.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, what about a Cabernet or something like that?
That's what like a nice dessert wine. You know?
With chocolate, that would be nice. Yeah.
I've never been one for a chocolate pairing with wine.
Just good old fashioned.
Your wine has to be sweeter than the food that you're eating. That's just a rule of thumb. So you've got to pull off. I've got a Tokai over there that would probably be sweet enough, but not much else.
Okay.
All right, gang. We have gone well beyond and above. I will have this together shortly and send it over. And then next week, we've got an interesting topic. I'll let you know what it is. I just printed it, but I don't. Wait, maybe I can tell you what it is while we're.
Did we lose Randy?
No, I'm here.
He's here.
I'm
He's just
still
off
here.
video.
For whatever reason, my
Your video went off?
video went out.
I'm not sure. Maybe I thought I had it. Oh, 15 things you don't want in your house during a pandemic, I believe.
Chocolate cake, because I'll eat it all.
Chocolate
Coronavirus?
during pandemic. Yeah, you know,
The actual virus.
Yes, but it goes beyond
Germs, as my daughter would say.
that. All right, gang. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Good
All right.
show. I'll
Hey,
see
Brad.
you.
Hey, Brad. Brad,
Yes,
can I
yes.
call you for 1 minute when we hang up?
Yep, absolutely. I'm here.
He's in demand. Chuck, are you calling Brad as well?
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, he just needs me to come do a cleanup on aisle 7.
You know, I'm keeping it pretty clean, but not like, when you walk in and you smell,
Where's Sherry?
Sherry is in the other room right now.
Oh, okay. Because I would think that it's.
Are you suggesting that Sherry clean the house?
Oh, no.
Oh, Bob.
I don't
All
stop.
right. All
Edit
right.
that out, Bob. Edit that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not
that,
touching
man.
that. We're not
Should I
touching
tell
that.
her to fetch a sandwich while I'm at it?
Oh, no. Okay. Very good. Okay. Oh, we learned more about that in just 1 second than we will ever. Okay. All right, gang. Take care. Have a
All
great
right.
week.
Good
See you
night.
next
Adios.
Wednesday.
Good night.
All righty. Bye-bye.